So recently I bought this KingQuad 400 ASI really to plow. Obviously we've been using it to run through the mud quite a bit. I washed it yesterday. You can see how good that did. It's a cool little thing. Not super powerful, but I don't really want one that I'm going to kill myself on, so yeah, that's why we picked this. So what we're going to do today is we're going to put in the winch, and we're going to wire it and winch plate. Probably in the next video we're going to do the plow mount. That's the actual part that goes underneath because it's a center mount plow. And we have a Warren 54-inch plow that's going to go on the front. But what I want to do right now is I want to put the winch on. So I didn't go crazy expensive. I wanted to see how this was. I got a Champion 3,000-pound winch. Comes with the wiring harness. I feel like this is going to be a weak point, but we'll see when it's on the handle. Here's the winch. And yeah, we shouldn't need this, I don't think. This is what comes in the box. I just opened it up. We need this. We'll need this. We'll obviously need the hardware. This is the winch plate itself. So the winch attaches to this, I believe, this way. And this guy attaches here. So this plate and all this stuff will be linked below. The plate itself, I think it fits 2008 up on the Suzuki KingQuad 400. Comes with instructions. We have to take off that plastic thing. Honestly, I don't even think you really have to do this, but I think it'll just make it easier when you're putting everything in there. I'm not sure. We're going to decide if we probably want to attach the winch before. I don't know. We'll see how it works because this is heavy. It's not going to be easy with this on here. So I'm thinking maybe afterwards. Probably put the winch plate on. I'll attach this first. And then we'll go from there, but that's that. This was like I said, this was 43 bucks. This was around 100. And it comes with all the stuff you should need. I'm hoping these wires are long enough. That's kind of why. We're gonna lay this out. We're gonna lay this out first and see. Like I say, this I feel is gonna be the weakest point of this, and I'm hoping there's a good place we can put it on the handles up there, because you kind of want it to be convenient to make the plow come up and down. I'm thinking we're gonna have to take off this panel, which looks like 2 pins, screw, and another pin. I think this comes off. But before we even get that far, let's get this guy laid out and make sure we think it's gonna be long enough. Okay, so this is to the winch, this is to the battery. The battery on this is right here. So, alright. So this guy, approximately, it's going to be somewhere in here, probably right there. That's my guess. So, wiring wise, this needs to go down, run along somewhere in here, and connect there. So that should be fine. No big deal. And if you look, it says battery negative, battery positive. So that's that. This one basically just is a straight shot down. You gotta miss anything that's moving parts, so we're gonna probably shoot to go through. I don't know if you can see that, up through there and down, and the winch will be right here. So what I want to do is I'm gonna run the wires first. We're gonna have to like zip tie them where we can. So that's the plan. So we're gonna zip tie them down. Like I say, you can see this, and we have to end up in this area, so we should probably bring the wires right down on this side, because no, it would be the other side, because the winch is going to be turned around the opposite way. So that's the plan. So after we get the wires in place, I will take off this panel and we'll put in that. This should be a quick, easy install. first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this panel and see what's underneath it. These things usually just pry upwards. And since they're brand new, they're really stiff. Try not to lose them. Once you pull the pin out, sometimes the pin will stay like in the top like that. That's what I think they're supposed to do. I think you just pull the whole thing out like that. So don't lose these if you drop them like I did. I'm just gonna put them over here for now, and then I need to. This one I think is the same kind of thing. We're gonna have to take out this one too, I think. So let's pull this one out first. Like I said, try not to lose them. I'm sure these are cheap to replace if you had to, but so this one I'm assuming is the same type of thing. Yeah. I think it's a screw, so that way you can pull it out a little bit. Same type of thing, just a little bit longer. I'm gonna have to take out this one. And like, I'm doing this just to see where I can run the wire. This actually probably isn't necessary if you could just snake it through pretty easily. Alright, so that's that. Okay, so this makes it so we have a better view of where we're going. And we could probably run it a little bit higher. The only problem I see is, where am I? Oh, we can run right up through here. Okay, so the wire is going to run down here. We're going to have to zip tie it, and then it's going to come down. And then we're going to pull it through here, and we're going to try to go straight through here. It's going to run right next to the air box, and then up. Where do the wires come in for this guy? They go right next to that. So if we can, what you got to watch out for is this is the exhaust system right here. So you don't want to go too close to that, but I think we can sneak right around, put it in here, and if we get in a pinch, it won't be the end of the world, because we could always pull this wire out of the way if it's in our way doing something else. So let's do the battery wire first, which means this guy needs to be out of our way. Okay, so battery wire. I'm going to feed it down, and then I'm going to double check that wherever it goes, it's not interfering with anything. Let's cut this guy. Alright, so where I went, it's going to be impossible to see. Do I have my flashlight? Okay. So I went down, this is the gas tank right here. I went right down the front of it. And that's not going to interfere with anything here. Alright, so in here, gotta be careful because the fan is right there. So we're going to have to zip tie this stuff up out of the way. So there's a wiring harness right here. I'm going to zip tie to that and follow this harness all the way back. So let's pull in our slack, get it to where it needs to go, and then we're going to zip tie everything as we go, because you can't let this interfere with anything else, and it's going to be, you know, a high voltage line. So what I need to do next is I need to try to get the wires up into this area. Then I'm going to try to go right there. Might be easier doing one of these at a time. We're going to find that out in a second. That one. The question is going to be, do we have enough room to get through here? Oh yeah, and if you want to get in here, I'm sure if you already have one of these, you know, you just pull up on this tab to get the seat off. And all your owner's manuals and stuff are in here. I'm just going to pull that guy out of the way for the moment. This one. Alright, I just wanted this out of my way to see. In theory, we want to get this cable up through this little hole right here. Is it going to be as easy as it sounds? Probably not. There it is. So that's the plan. So this one basically just needs to be that long. This one I'm going to need a little bit more slack, but I'm hoping we have enough. Alright, so that's that. So this one just needs to go to here. So what I wanted to do is just tuck this out of the way. So that should be plenty. We'll take just a little bit more slack and we can always push it back. Okay, so that comes here. I'm planning on putting it right there. So that would be the furthest it has to go. Yeah, it should be good. I think we should put this up on the handle so we know we have enough room. Let me get. correct size wrench to do the top one, probably. Alright, for the moment, that's where we're going to say it's staying. Okay, so let's get this guy out. I'm going to run this down real quick. Should generally be able to go through the same hole. Then we got to see where they end up. Good place for that. I'd feel better if I could run these higher away from the fan. Have them here. We really need them on the other side. Alright, if you can see that, I went up and through. Yep, and they came out right here. So what I need to do is we just need to, we got the slack out. These are going to end up just being zip tied right here. They're going to end up being zip tied right in this area. And then go straight to the winch, which will be right there. Oops. Which will be right there. So, let's go zip tie the rest to the back. I think we'll put all this back together. I'm not really worried about juice going to the front. So you'd have to be pushing the button, in theory, to make it work. So let's put this back together. Maybe we'll leave off the negative terminal until we're done. But I would like to get it, I would like the wires to be pretty much where they're going to be. Okay, so I checked all the movement here. Full lock one way, it's super loose. Full lock this way is actually a little bit tighter, but it's still loose if you look. Nothing's being pulled tight, so I think that's fine. Just zip tie here. I'm going to zip tie down the front and here. Let's see, I did one here, one here, one here. Okay, so this part's good. Back to here. We still got to turn that back. Yeah, we still got to hook this back up. In here, we can put this panel back on, which I think we'll do right now. Then we'll worry about the wire that goes down the front. We'll zip tie that in place. And from there, we can start putting the winch on. So this should be interesting, because this goes down here. This has to go back here, so there we go. That hooks in there, clips in there. Alright, so is this in the right place? Okay, so we're going to pop these guys back in. This one was the screw one, which I thought I grabbed. No, it's this one. There's that. The rest of these are just the regular pushing ones. Make sure you get everything hooked in where it's supposed to go and push it in. For assembly, these things are pretty sweet because they're quick. You don't have to worry about screws or anything. Okay, so that should be good. Let's get some zip ties. We'll zip tie the wires generally where they're supposed to be. Which means we'll probably be the light and the clippers. So, these guys, I'm hoping you can see this. The wires come across the top up here. They come down here. We're going to avoid the transmission core. And I'm going to put these on this side. Okay, so that should be plenty of length. We're going to actually pull back on this a little bit so that there's more slack. Don't mind me talking weird, I just got a zip tie in my mouth. Alright. And for now, I'm just going to put one here. Oops, lost my light. And then we'll probably have to put one more a little bit lower down in this area somewhere after we get this on, because the winch is somewhere, the hookups are somewhere on this side. Right now we're going to start working on taking this little rubber plastic cover off, which requires that guy. There's two in the front up here, one there, one there, one on the other side. I think that's it. Maybe not, there's probably more back there. Is that necessary is the next question. Probably to make it easier to get to the back of those bolts. So that's our plan. So under here, like I say, like this, you probably don't have to take it off, but we're going to take it off because it says to, you know. I think it is going to make my life a little bit easier installing the winch. These are 10 mil, pretty much like everything else that's little on this. When we install the plow, we have to take those off, and we have to take this pan off, so we may end up doing this job twice. We'll see. I don't know if this pan, I don't think this pan gets in the way. These guys are little, so let's take that out. Yeah, it's in the same spot on this side. If I could get the wrench on it, it would help if I was actually on it. It's nice working on something that's brand new. You don't have to break anything. You know, this is not going to stay new that long if it looks like this already underneath. Yeah, so that's that. You can already see like the crap. Like I almost feel like these pans. I don't know. So that's that one. Front one, same thing. One on either side here. And then two in the front. they're all the same, so it doesn't matter where you put these back. Alright. So now, the plate goes in here. I think I still am wondering to myself if it makes more sense to put the winch on first and then just push the whole thing in, but I don't know if you have enough room. So I think I'm going to put the plate in and then put everything onto it. So the plate itself goes on. Hoping you can see this alright. The plate itself slides over these. You can see it's on the outside. Let's see, which one? Figure out what goes where. It would help grab the right hardware kit. So this is the hardware kit for the actual winch. So two of these bolts are going to need some persuasion getting in, so I'm going to get a rubber mallet. Yeah, you should be able to get two in alright. I know some of the reviews on this said something like they had to drill out the hole a little bit more. I don't think that's actually necessary. I think you just got to persuade it in there a little bit. So let me grab, whoops. Let me grab a hammer. I'm just gonna screw it in to persuade it in a little bit. They seem like they're off by just a little tiny bit. Yeah, that one went in. It's the littlest tiny bit. So what size are these? Are these 13s too? Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, so one of them definitely had to be persuaded in a little bit. That one kind of went in on its own, so help put the right socket on here. Man, of course I grabbed the wrong one. Easier. Click. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so this is on now. So let's figure out what we need for the winch. Alright, so let's see if we can get two started in here. So, alright. You just gotta get them started. It should be pretty easy. It should be good. And there's only 4. There is, on this mounting plate, there's 6 holes, so there's obviously other kinds that are shorter that you can use too. Alright, for this, I think I'm gonna do it by hand because you're going into a cast block. I don't really want to over tighten. Does this have a torque spec? I think it must be SC-5 or better. Torque to 34 foot-pounds. I feel like I probably should just torque these. That's good. That's good. Alright. It's all the way back there. Alright, I'm gonna steal this one for a second. That's hard to probably see in here. Need to figure out what size these guys are. So everything was 13 on the Winch except for this. So let's see what this guy is. 16. 16. Looks like 16mm 5/8 looks to be close enough to hold it. So. Isn't using a lock washer and a nylon nut? Isn't that like doing double duty? Aren't you not supposed to do that? Because that's what is on here. It's a lock washer, and I don't know. Somebody answer that. Yeah. Because I don't know the answer. If you turn the knob on the side, it freewheels the thing. So you can then put on your hook. Probably should have hooked out of the bag before you do this. I'm sure this has some name for it. I have no idea. We need to wire this. So I'm hoping we can make it. Ooh, hello. Hoping I can make it so you can see this. So, winch. It has a negative and a positive. I just want to go over the 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. Look at it from outside. And underneath we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's for this winch. Some of them use these middle holes. 2 bolts here, and that's that. And then once we tighten this up, this will pull in. But we need to hook up the 2 wires from the actual switch. And if you look, they have a little picture of a winch on them. So this one goes here to the positive, and the black one goes to the negative. We're going to do that real quick. I got to get the right size. Let me get the right size wrench for this one. I'll be right back. Okay, so should have been obvious. It's 10 mil. So push up the little boot that's on here. And what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to put my wires around like this, because I have a little bit of slack. And you pull off one of the washers, put that guy back on. Just remember, negative to the top, positive to the bottom. I actually think if you hook this up the wrong way, it will just run backwards, but don't hold me to that. I'm not going to try it. So, but it is just a big motor, so. Okay, so that's that. And then on the bottom, just remember, washer on either side. And with that wrapped around, it actually gave me just the right length. I'll just double check that we're not, I say it and I don't do it. Washer on both sides. then from there, tighten this guy up. You don't need to go crazy tightening this because you'll just snap it off. So that's good. I would have actually felt a little better if that was over a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Okay, put your little boots on. Which is easier said than done. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so that's good. So now we gotta hook up the battery in the back and then we should be able to test this. Okay, so put that battery lead back on. Make sure that the wire, I think I'm gonna throw a zip tie on there. Right now it's technically light, but it's not gonna hurt you unless you lick your fingers and touch those two battery leads right there. Even then, it's probably not going to hurt you that much, but that's just me. Alright, so that's in there. So now, we should be able to just use it. So, you just push the button, which just isn't the best switch, as I expected. So for the moment, that's that. So that's it. You put your seat cover back on, and the winch side of this is done. Now, like I said, in the next video, we are probably going to put on the plow. So the thing about this too is the winch is always active. I don't think it's going to do anything because these are like actual physical disconnects. So if you spool out, spool in. To me, this in my brain is opposite because it's going out the front of the thing. So that's spool out. So I don't even know what I was saying. So if you ever have a problem with the battery and it's draining, it could be something to do with this leaking electricity or something, because it is a direct connection to the battery. So just something to be aware of. You don't have to have the key in or anything. You can use the winch. Another thing I wanted to say is this is brand new and we use it in the mud quite a bit already. This is going to hold a lot of mud and it's going to start rusting where these go. So you may occasionally want to take this stuff off and wash it off. You can see the mud pile here. This is where it's normally parked. So something to be aware of. The last thing that you would do if you were finished right now, which I am, but I'm gonna probably try to put on the mount for the plow, which you'll see in the next video. If you were done, you put this back on and you call it a day. Six little bolts, and that's that. It's pretty easy to put on. I don't know how good this winch is going to be, but it has pretty good reviews for the price, you know. If it works alright for a while, that's fine with me. If I get a few years out of it, I'd be happy. The mount is fine. Like I said, it's a little off when you put it on there, but if you wiggle it a little, you can get the bolts in. You don't need to drill it out from my experience. And yeah. That's about that. So, I'll see you in the next one.